So I was working on this like a broader video on like a guide to make swing because like every video on swing just kind of pisses me off. So like I thought of maybe I should learn some editing and do it myself. But when I was coming on to like this part where I was just discussing jump indicators, I realized this can probably just work as its own standalone video and literally just solve like a bunch of people's problems with swing really easily with one video. Okay, so consider this click pattern I made for one of my levels. So they are originally placed by I made it so that where I clicked was the center of each circle, and then I went back and did it again, trying to follow this click pattern. And as you can see, uh, I just very gradually I managed to stray off course by being ever so slightly off every single time, until eventually I hit this point and where it's pretty much impossible for me to follow this indicator. So I end up just clicking past it and just hitting the spike. So what people kind of interpret this is just the swing's inconsistency. It's not very consistent. Like I follow the roughly the same click pattern and I still just stray off course. But in reality, it's not the fact that swing is inconsistent. It's that you're trying to follow this click pattern that became useless like 13,000 clicks ago. Because like instead of what I should have done instead of trying to follow this was to just click over here and I would have easily been able to just make this gap easily and maybe even like driven myself back on course to complete the rest of the level. But the issue with indicators is that people aren't going to really react to themselves and how they're actually completing the part. They're just gonna mindlessly click the indicators and eventually they're gonna fuck up because like I said, indicators don't really work with swing. But like no one's really caught on to that, at least not many people, and you still see a bunch of indicators in swing and that people try and work around them by using teleport orbs and landing everywhere. But no, you really don't have to do that. All you have to do is just to ignore these terrible indicators and just do the part normally. Because now I've removed these circles, it's clear what the actual mistake was. It wasn't that that swing was so inconsistent. I just needed to play the game better, and that's the thing that people kind of don't realize that swing is very very adjustable. Like let's say if I was actually like I clicked early, like in this example, like I clicked early here. What I can very easily do is just do a double click here and I'm back on course and I can complete the level. But like if I were to try and follow this indicator, I would have died because as you can see I was nowhere near this thing. So yeah, the only way to actually complete the part was to just ignore them and to figure it out myself. And that's the thing with swing. You kind of have to. You can't exactly treat it like. I want to say can't exactly treat it like a UFO, but like the way people treat UFOs, I don't even think we should be treating UFOs in the first place. So yeah, you kind of, in a sense, it's like kind of like a ship in that aspect, where the click pattern should be variable. You have to react to yourself in order to adjust to yourself. But like obviously, since you're probably going to be ending up clicking a lot less than a ship, the intuition is, oh wait, we should probably be treating it more like how we treat a timing game mode, and that's kind of where our mistake is, kind of, because we don't really treat timing game modes how we really should be doing. So yeah, uh, I'm gonna I'm gonna go over to a version of empty without these indicators and make some mistakes, and it's gonna be a lot easier to see where my mistakes would be. Like for this instance, I should have just clicked earlier there instead of later. But now that there's no indicators of a reference where I should maybe clicking, I don't have this preconceived notion that it's not my fault that I made this such a silly mistake, you know? Anyway, that's it, pretty much. I don't have this spider glitch set up anywhere. This is the most embarrassing part of each video. Ah, here we go. But there we go.